Hello. A very good morning to all the respected dignitaries and participants present in this online Atal FDP. It gives me immense pleasure to extend you a very warm welcome on the behalf of Rungta College of Engineering and Technology, Bhilai, for the 1 week FDP on recent trends and advancements in ANN and deep learning for real-time application. I, Pradeep Kumar, as a co-host for this webinar, I welcome Dr. Devjani Mukherjee, HOD Psychology from the St. Thomas College, Bhilai, for this session. We are in the 5th day, that is the last day for this Atal FDP. Now I will hand over this session to the madam. Welcome, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I especially, I want to thank Rungta College, Dr. Pankaj Mishra, and all the other members involved with this Atal FDP for inviting me to speak and interact with all the members enrolled for this program.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you,
ma'am. Can I start the session, sir?
Yeah, ma'am. Proceed.
Okay. Well, I'm not a yoga guru. I am a daily practitioner of yoga and meditation since the last decade, and I have done few empirical researches on the subject. These studies have been presented in India and abroad and were very well received wherever I have presented them, whether it is Australia or Canada or USA or European countries, wherever, but then people have really appreciated and they very well received these studies, empirical researches on the efficacy of yoga and meditation on various aspects of our lives, whether it is adolescent or whether it is elderly or it is the, college going students. Many researches have been done, and the importance and the efficacy of yoga and meditation, even in the working sector, in the people who are working, it has been very evident. As a practicing psychologist, I have been using yoga much in my counseling process and have seen the efficacy of this regime. Now, I want to start this session with some interaction. I can see that still participants are joining, and as of now 25 participants are there. Now, can I just ask you, and I would request the host to unmute the participant as and when they want to speak, because till the interactions are done, till I know what you people are expecting and what how much of this yoga and meditation are practiced by you on a daily basis. Some things that I want to know. Any of you are a regular yoga practitioner here? आप लोगों में से कोई योगा प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, योग का प्रैक्टिस करते हैं? It is not that I'm expecting yes, but then in case any of you are practicing, we can just have a small talk on the subject.
Participants are requested, if they are having they want to interact with the ma'am, you please raise your hand. Otherwise you will what you do, you ask some question or something in the chat box also.
Any of you have ever practiced yoga, ever done any kind of on a regular basis, or even intermittently, or maybe once or twice? Or can I get some reply from you people? Okay, so I don't find anybody who are regular yoga practice. Now, any of you have ever thought of meditation? What is it? Participants, please be a bit more interactive. Can you share with me your knowledge about yoga and meditation? Okay. Even if you're not practicing. Okay, but any of you can relate to it or can talk about it, say a few lines about it? Yes. Okay, then I'll continue and let's see how the topic takes shape at the end of the session. Now, you people are here for the last 4-5 days. We are talking about some engineering topics and technical lectures you've been attending. So, do you really think you didn't feel any kind of stress, or you didn't feel any kind of tension or tiredness, or maybe at some point of time it may not have been as interesting, or it may not because you may have some, not that the topic was not interesting, because you may have some other more interesting thing that was that probably needed your attention. So since you have been in a regime for the last 4-5 days, some kind of mental focus, some kind of I would say agitation in your mind in case you have something more demanding that needs your attention. If that has been so, then this regime that you have been going through must have given you some kind of positive input, some mental tensions also. So, but this is a very small area, or like, sitting in a class and feeling tension. It's a very small area of tension. Now, the severe stress and severe tensions in our lives, maybe our health. These days we are in the pandemic situation we are in, and again with the coming in of the new virus, again the same fear that was there in early 2020s again surfacing. We have our own agendas, we have our own ceremonies, we have our own programs, examinations, we have travels, which we are still very apprehensive whether it will actually happen or whether it will be hampered by the new virus that is attacking. So whenever there are deadlines, you may have people in your homes who are about to join a job, or who are about to face an interview, or who are about to go for higher studies, or who are about to give their school boards. And then you have these questions arising whether that will happen successfully, or whether you'll be able to actually go about it without any hamper, without any barriers. So on a daily level, on a daily routine, we are definitely facing a lot of mental health problems, a lot of work pressures, work-life balance pressures. How do we cope up with it? Today's topic that has been assigned to me is yoga and meditation, which is as a facilitator of mental health and work life. So today I'll be talking to you about yoga, plus I'll be talking to you about the breathing related with yoga, then something to do with meditation and how it impacts the mental health, and which indirectly impacts your work life and your work-life balance. Now, as I told you, yoga and meditation will not directly affect your office performance. It will not make your boss like you. It will not, get you a faster promotion, but it will definitely impact your whole life by impacting your attitude, impacting your energy level, and positivity of mind and actions. So the impact of yoga, it is just a regulation that you assign, that you make your body go through, that you make your mind go through. And when you are meditating, you're focusing on something. We'll come to it later on also. We are focusing on something. We are doing deep introspection. We are doing, structured breathing. So these are the, you can say, the regime or the routine that makes your body and mind more aware, more healthy. And if that is aware and healthy, your whole attitude changes. And when the attitude changes, there is positive attitude, there is a lot of happiness, there's a lot of smiles around. Definitely the surroundings that you are in will be affected. Okay, so that is, it is not necessary, it is not mandatory that one has to do yoga or meditation. Any kind of fitness regime is as good as yoga and meditation. It depends on you, what you want to do, what you select, and how you feel mentally tuned or aligned with that regime. Now, I will talk to you first as a psychologist. I want to talk to you about the 3 conscious system before I go into the concept of yoga. Now, what are the 3 conscious system? Now, the 3 conscious system are like you can say the conscious, subconscious, and the unconscious. Yes, there are some comments. I'll come back to it later. The questions that I had asked, now I can see the answers have come now. Vijayalakshmi says that it is controlling of body and mind. And then Anupriya says it helps reducing stress. Definitely, very well said. It does that, as you have written. Now, coming back to the session, I'll talk to you about the id ego, superego, or the conscious, unconscious, subconscious. These are the 3 levels of the mind. Now, this is pure psychology. These are the Freudian theories and the post-Freudian theories, and how we can relate these to mental health, and how we can relate this with yoga and meditation. That is what I'm not here, as I told you earlier also, I'm not here as a yoga guru. I'm not a guru at all. I'm a psychologist. I'm a practicing psychologist. I head the department of psychology in a college here, but I have been in this regime of yoga and meditation for the past 1 decade, more also for that matter, and I have been using this in my as a intervention in my counseling processes. So now, coming back to the Freudian theories, the conscious, unconscious, and the subconscious mind. So the mind is basically divided into 3 layers. Okay. So now, as a child, say a child of say 10-year-old, now the 10-year-old has he has gone through day 1 till 10 years. That means 365 days a year into 10 that you do, and you can see the minutes, you can see the seconds that he has seen, and every minute and second he has experienced something. He has seen so many movies, he has seen so many serials, he has eaten so many kind of food, he has visited so many places, he has met so many people. So how do you think his mind has absorbed all these information, right? So it is not possible for a human brain to hold all the information at one level. So what does the brain do? The important things are the things that he likes, the things that he can relate to, the things that he's he wants to remember, stays in the conscious mind. And then most of the experiences of human being, they get pushed into the unconscious mind. If I ask you, say, for example, say today is what day? Today is Friday, right? So if I ask you, okay, on Monday, for Monday dinner, what did you eat? Some of you may remember if you've had something which is very unique, or something that you like, or even something that you just don't like, you may not remember. But on a daily basis, if you had the standard meal that you have most of the days, which is just functional but may not be very interesting, if I ask you, may not remember. So where does it go? It from the conscious mind, because the day you had that dinner, till the next morning, maybe you will remember, or maybe the next day also you will remember, but slowly and slowly you just forget. So where does it go? So it will go, it will get pushed to the unconscious mind. Then if somebody gives you a clue and says, remember that day we had that food, or that person had cooked this and it was nice. So from the unconscious mind, it is again pushed out and it comes to your conscious mind. So the intermediating mind in between, that is the subconscious mind, where after given some clue, it gets pushed out from the unconscious to subconscious and from the subconscious to the conscious mind. The conscious mind of the person makes him remember things. Conscious mind of a person makes him work with total mindfulness. Conscious mind of a person makes him work in such a manner that there are no mistakes. So whenever we are working with a full concentration, the mind should be able to actually do that work without making any mistakes. So only then the efficiency of your work will be, will be 100% if you are paying full attention to it, and that is possible if the conscious mind is focused on the work that you are doing. Then I'll talk to you about the id-ego, superego, and relate it with the conscious, unconscious, and subconscious, and then we'll come back to yoga and relate how yoga and meditation impact all these three systems of which are primarily studied in psychology, and how they affect in reduction of stress, and how it impacts your work life, how it impacts your work efficiency, so on and so forth. Okay, now in the three conscious system, there are three concepts. Now that one thing I just wanted to talk to you is, I did not make a PPT. I have it though, but I thought, just directly talking to you, looking into your eyes and presenting would be a better thing, because I'll be able to relate with you and show you the techniques that I'm talking about. PPT in such very this kind of topics becomes very mechanical, and reading out a PPT is not what I wanted to do. So now the three systems of the mind, the id-ego, superego, they are what? The superego is the consciousness in a person, then the conscience. So what is conscience? That is your judgment quality, your judgment of good or bad. Your how do you do the, I would say, that quality of altruism. What is altruism? The goodness in a person which does for the society, which helps the society. That is altruism, and that is a part of the superego. Then you have the id. Id is the badness in a person. It is the hidden aspects of a person that we don't want to show people. And the mediating aspect is the ego. So I'll just give you an example. When we talk of Mother Teresa, now she came from Europe, came and settled in Kolkata on the streets, looked after the lepers on the street, took care of them. Then slowly and slowly she got public funding, she got recognized, and definitely at the end of her career or her tenure, she was a known person with a lot of branches all over the globe and a lot of well-wishers. But then when she started, she came to a country which was by far poorer country from as compared to her country. Still she came here, she did for the people, and she started with this aspect of doing something for the society. So this is what is a extreme superego, the command of the superego that this lady had. Then we talk about the id. Id is, as I told you, the darkness in a person. It is a gray aspect in a person's mind. So when we talk of id, like we had this person in the south, remember the big mustache guy Veerappan. What did he do? He destroyed the sandalwood forest. He destroyed the animals, the elephants for the tusks, the animals for the skin. So he had spread destruction in the area. Or people who are looting, or people who are working as terrorists, or people who are destroying the society. So we say that their id is overpowering their superego. So the id is the good badness in a person, the superego is the goodness in a person. Now the ego in a person is a balance between the both. Me and you, we are normal human beings. So we have the ego, which balances both good and bad. Sometimes, if it is necessary, we do for the society. If it is necessary, we will give donations. But if it is necessary, we may not be as honest as we should have been. We may not actually be helpful to others. So according to the situations, it is our ego that balances between the good and the bad. Every person has some white and some black. So, but the gray is we try to balance between the good and the bad. So these are the three mind systems in a human being, that the conscious, unconscious, subconscious, and the id-ego, superego. So conscious mind is the mind that you remember at any moment. You may not you never forget your name, you don't forget your address, you don't forget your age, you don't forget your family, you don't forget your close friends. Why? Because it is in your conscious mind. But you may forget. If I ask you, who sat next to you when you were in class 2? Or who was your class teacher? Or who taught you maybe Sanskrit when you were in class 4? So you may forget, you may not forget, depending on your liking, on your personal choices. So if you remember any information at any given point of time, it is there in your conscious mind. Okay, so this is what the three layers of the human mind that I wanted to talk to you. So that I'll be using this theory in the yoga and the meditation process also. Okay, so now stress is ever present. Now, any of you here, can any of you tell me if you don't feel stress in your daily life? Is it possible? How do, if you have any point to talk about stress, you can just write in the chat box, or you can or you can speak out aloud, raise your hand. So not possible. That means life is, many of you have written, it is not, that means it is not possible to have a life without stress. And smaller stress, bigger stress, lighter stress, huge stress, they happen on a very, very daily basis, whether you are at home or you are in office. I'm not telling you that you do yoga, so your stress will be gone. I'm just telling you the efficacy of any kind of mental regime, how it impacts your stress life. So, well, for one, I feel fortunate that I have been using a lot of yoga and meditation, as I told you, and I found it to be very good with the stress process. There have been many studies also, researches, books, journals, which has shown the efficacy of yoga and meditation on the control of stress and healthy mental life. And you know what is the best part of it? The best part is that you don't need any prior experience to benefit from the practice. Whether you are at home or you are at work or somewhere in between, yoga is always there to help you and relax. Now, I'll just show you how to get started, right? Now, we are just doing, I'll be just talking to you and just showing. I won't be actually doing out the yoga out here, but I can just talk to you about the various simple things that we can always practice wherever you are and whenever you have the time. Now, I'll just talk to you about a short sequence that works the body and rest the mind. That will make the body work and rest your mind in just 5 minutes. You don't need anything for this, only yourself. You just need yourself. If you have got a yoga mat, it's great. But it is not necessary. If you have a towel, that too will work. You can just sit on the floor. But what you need is a comfortable spot where you are alone, where you are uninterrupted for only 2 minutes or only 5 minutes, depending on how much time you can spare. It can be in between two lectures. It can be in between two, just before having your food. 2 seconds you have, so you just tell people, I'll just give me 2-3 minutes. You lay the table, I'll just come. For 2-3 minutes you can do it. And but you need to find a comfortable spot and uninterrupted for 5 minutes. Now, depending on how your body feels, you can use these simple exercises that I'll tell you. You can use a cushion to put on, to sit on it, or to support your body into a comfortable position. You can also take this same, do the same yoga or mindfulness practice outdoors. You're sitting out in your balcony, you're sitting out in your garden. There's nature around, there are trees around. You can just sit there and do these simple exercises. Experience the vibrant colors, experience the sounds, feel the outdoors in your breath, feel the positive energy around. Now, how do we start? Now, you just connect with your mind. While sitting, allow your shoulders to relax, sit properly, sit straight, and you inhale for 6 seconds. 6 seconds, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you inhale, you push your stomach out, away from your body, as much as you can stress. Wait for 4-5 seconds. Then you exhale. And when you exhale, you allow your stomach to touch your body. Go as much inside as it is possible. Nothing. Just sit. Just this much. Do it 4 times. Do it 5 times. This deep breathing is a beautiful relaxation technique. Try it. Whenever you have, now, people are so conscious about being healthy, especially these breathing exercises have been propagated so much during the COVID times as a measure to keep your lung healthy, as a measure to keep your mind healthy. So these days, everybody are practicing. Last 1 year, most of you, I'm sure, have practiced lung exercises, because maybe out of fear, maybe out of, we are scared, we want to be healthy. But then what has been told to us for so many years have somehow taken such a strong motto in our lives during this pandemic. Now, when you begin after these 2-3 short exercises, when you begin, you can always sit on a yoga position and you just think about your self-care. You are not bothered about what others about how you can help others, how you can, what you do in your office, or how you help your colleagues. No, at that point of time, you become only selfish and you think about your own self-care. Because if every human being thinks about their self-care, their self-respect, their self-worth, and a curiosity about yourself, that what is your level of the efficiency, what is the standards that you can work on, or you can reach, the goals, the mottos that you can conquer. That is what you are knowing yourself. If somebody asks me, how much marks you expect in your exam? So I said, pass hone se bhi chalega. If I just pass, that is also okay. Well, I write my exam and I get 85% marks. So what was I expecting and what did I get? This is what is the level of achievement. It is the highest level that you can reach. The goal setting behavior, it was so less. When I can get 85%, why didn't I achieve for 90, or why didn't I achieve for 80? So that I may have a goal setting behavior which is high, which is what I can conquer, what I can achieve. So how do I know my worth? How do I know what I'm capable of? These are, knowing yourself is a very, very important thing. And yoga and meditation is very important tool to reach that goal, that is to know yourself. So how do you know yourself? There are some simple exercises that you can do. You have to have the right mind space for these exercises, mental and space. That means your mind has to have a space. It shouldn't be crowded. There shouldn't be too many things happening in your mind all the time. Your mind has to be relaxed. Your mind has, in all that jungle of work that the mind has thought about, it has to give space to this, to these exercises. Now, the one thing that you can do is you sit in an easy pose, which is called the Sukhasana. That is, you just fold your feet. Normally, जो कहते हैं हिंदी में पालती मार के बैठना, that is also good enough. And then you begin in a very comfortable seated position. You keep your legs crossed. You relax your feet, and you keep your body straight but relaxed. Think about how you are breathing. Think about the breathing systems that you are doing, the inhale and the exhale. Feel the sensations in your body. If you're feeling cold, feel it. If you're feeling comfortable, feel it. If you're feeling hot, feel it. So just sit for a minute. Feel the sensation that comes. There shouldn't be any rush in your mind. The mind should be still, and you should be internally aware. That is one thing you can do. You sit, as I told you earlier, do 3 or 4 long breathing in and out, and you just feel yourself, feel the calmness of the mind, feel the unrushed emotions in your body. Just feel what is happening to your body. That is exercise number 1. Very simple. That means your mind is giving some space to yourself to know what you are, to know your worth, to know yourself, to know what you're capable of. Only then you will know how to set your goals, what you can achieve easily. Because if I'm worth 80% and I expect 100% and I'm not able to reach 100%, there may be frustration. There may be unhappiness. So if I know my worth and I expect that much, my goal setting is what I can reach. It is high, but what I can reach, what is possible for me to reach, is the state of happiness for my mind. Okay. Second thing, since we are all professionals and we are all 24/7 with some gadget, we are working with a mobile, we are working on the computer, we are working with the iPads. This portion of our head is always stressed out. It is tired. So you need to roll your neck once in a while to stay healthy, to to get relief from any kind of vertigo, spondylitis, and the other problems related with sitting on the computer or related with sitting on the mobile for hours together. So you just sit. Excuse me, I'll just get water for myself and come back. 1 minute. Excuse me, sorry for that. I was getting this intermittent cough. Okay, so we're talking about the neck roll. So you allow your head to fall towards your chest like that. And then you slowly, very slowly, not suddenly, very slowly allow your head to move like that and then back very slowly. I'm not doing it very properly out here. I'm just trying to show you. So you just do it 3 times on the right and 3 times on the left. And when you do this, you invite the feeling of letting go, that the badness is going, the anxiety. You tell yourself, you have to tell yourself, go. So think of the tensions, go. Think of the strain that you feel on your neck, go. The mind is always learning. So it gets conditioned to what you teach. So you have to tell your mind to let go of the tensions. You have to tell, it will not go automatically. You have to tell. It is like a moldable child. You have to make the mind do it. And after a certain point of time, it will get conditioned to do what it is asked. And then it will start doing it automatically. Okay, and the third thing that you need to do is roll your shoulders. So it will be in the circular movements, front to back and back to front. And meanwhile, you will let your hands be straight, and when you do, it will only this will move. So these bones will go up, left to right and right to left. You can do it 4 times each, right? So the 3 things that I talked to you, I'm not doing yoga. I'm not talking about meditation as of now. I'm just talking about simple relaxation techniques. All of you follow when you are in your workplace, when you're at home, wherever. If you're sitting in a car and somebody else is driving, just try it out. Okay, whenever you get a time, you can do it. First is deep breathing. Feel the breath going in and feel the breath going out. Sukhasana, sit in the Sukhasana pose. You can sit in the Padmasana pose, whatever comes naturally to you. Second, I talked to you about the neck roll. Something like this. And backwards. Third, I talked to you about the shoulder roll. So these are the 3 very basic things that will help you relax, that will let your tensions flow out, your daily small tensions, because it stiffens your bones, your muscles. All these areas get tightened. And that is when you feel as if you're always tired. Then coming to the breathing exercises, we just do it mindlessly. We are breathing all the time. But are we actually focusing on those breaths? We are not. So when we do the breathing exercises in these, which are targeted breathing for the yoga practice, at that point of time, we will have to put a little thought on the breathing exercises. And we will see that the process of breathing can be very, very transformative. So in the breathing exercises, we have breath regulations. So what is breath regulations? Now, the key component of yoga includes, the main things in yoga includes postures, it includes meditation, relaxation, and breathing exercises. Now, these features of yoga are not exclusive, and they complement each other. Definitely they do. But the most profound thing in all the various types of yoga is the breath that you take in and the breath that you throw out. It is there. It guides you in your entire yoga process, in all types of yoga, all areas of yoga. And this yoga helps bring in the awareness of the breath, which is both physical and which has both physical and psychological impact or benefits. When we are stressed, whenever we are stressed, we often hold our breath or no, we take short breaths. We'll go like that. Short breaths. So what is happening? When we breathe in, we are taking in less amount of oxygen that we are capable of. And then we breathe out. So we are not allowing our brain to be full of oxygen. We're just giving a less supply of oxygen. Now, if you're eating, if you just eat 1/4 the quantity of food that you are supposed to eat, after a certain point of time, you will be hungry, your body will not be nourished, your body will not get, not get the full nourishment that it should be getting. So what will happen? There will be malnourishment, there may be tiredness, there may be illnesses which come and grab you. The same thing happens when we take short breaths. When you take long breaths, you are supplying enough oxygen to your brain. Indirectly, it is supplying balanced food, healthy food to the brain. Activity is never physical. Any activity is both, psychophysics rather. Psychological is the mind and physical is the body. So activity, whether it is writing something, speaking something, right? Listening to a lecture, all of you are listening to this lecture. I'm talking to you. The same, you have been doing this for the last 4 or 5 days. You will be doing some activity for the next 30 days, next 80 days, next 100 days, and for the rest of your life. Can you talk of any activity which is just an isolated activity of the body or an isolated activity of the mind? No, it is always psychophysics. It is always psychophysics, that is the mind and the body which gets tuned together. So to keep our body healthy, if you're supplying a lot of balanced food, are we doing that with our mind process? Are we giving balanced food to our mind? Now we have to juggle so many things at one point of time. All of you are professionals. You are from engineering background. You are all faculties who are teaching in various engineering colleges all over the country. All the participants here from various colleges from India. So you are not into engineering, you are into research, you are into teaching, you are into projects, you are into, you have to follow timings of your institute, you have to follow the regulations that are given out by the, the institutional, you can say the rules and regulations or the timings or the directives of the institution. You have a home to look after, you have family members to look after, you have social engagements, right? You have children in the family, you have elderly parents in the family, so many things, the health issues, the pandemic, so many things you have to take care. Not to forget your hobbies, not to forget what you like to do. That really takes the back seat, because so many other things have taken the front seat. So at one point of time, you are focusing on n number of things. And what is happening? Your mind is like a huge juggle, trying to juggle everything at one point of time. And then you are taking a lot of stress inside your mind, which is making you take in short breath. Mind is not getting enough oxygen, and you are all the more stressed out. So the breathing exercises are very, very recommended, because when you take a lot of, the mind is swimming in lot of fresh oxygen. When it is swimming in lot of fresh oxygen, it is rejuvenated. You throw out the carbon dioxide and you take in again long breath, you are giving ample food to your mind. It stays healthy, it stays nourished, it stays awake, it stays aware. The conscious mind of yours, again I'm going back to the Freudian theory, the conscious mind of yours is enlarged. The surface, the periphery of the conscious mind is widened, because so many things you think when you're taking long breaths. From the unconscious, it comes to the conscious mind and it enlarges. If you don't, the repressions that you have, things that you don't want to remember, the sadness in your life, they all get thrown in the unconscious mind. They are the dark areas of your life. And when you take in these long breaths, as I told you, the conscious mind increases. There will be more light in your life. The darkness goes away. Now, throughout your yoga class, if you join a yoga class, the teachers will remind you to regulate your breath. They will tell you, take in 6 counts, wait for 5 counts, and throw out 10 counts. Now, when I have taken 6 count of breath, how can I throw out 10 count of carbon dioxide? But that is what you're asked to do. Because when you are throwing out more than what you have taken, you are actually pressing your stomach next to the the back. Literally, you're compressing, squeezing your stomach in. And when that happens, whatever leftover carbon dioxide or the you can say the toxins in your breath, the non-fresh air that you have in your breath will be pushed out. So when it gets pushed out, and when you breathe in, there's more area for fresh oxygen to come in. So you squeeze your lungs out. And this is one exercise that has been asked to do during the COVID times also. It is yoga. It is yoga, these breathing exercises. Yoga is not something religious. Yoga is not something spiritual. It is spirituality of the thoughts, I would say. And this is simple things, but how healthy it makes you. Because the more the lungs are doing this and that, the more the elasticity of the lungs are maintained. The more the lungs become healthy. And this is the point of time when you need the lungs to be healthy. We are seeing pandemic all around. So many destructions. Every household has seen have faced the burnt of this. And we are working. We are having children, students coming to colleges. So we are meeting so many people. We cannot afford to even allow any illness in your mind, thought process, and in your physical body. So by keeping your lungs healthy, you are actually making your life healthy. You're making your work life healthy. You're making your mental life healthy. Mental health healthy rather. Or boosting your mental health. So when we talk of the breathing practices, I would like to talk about the few practices that you can do anywhere. And you consider these exercises as stress relieving exercises. First is the belly breathing. Belly, that is your stomach. So it is your belly breathing. So for your belly breathing, you just sit comfortably with your legs in a cross-legged position and you close your eyes. Sit like that in any comfortable position and you close your eyes. And you inhale from the bottom of your belly. You feel the air that you're taking in is from the stomach. Okay, so when you inhale, your stomach has to get pumped up. Stomach has to inflate, and slowly feel the air to your chest. So from the stomach, feel the air in your chest. From the stomach, it comes to your chest, and you imagine that filling up your body with breath all the way to the throat. So it will go like that: stomach, chest, till the throat. And you exhale from the throat first. So fill in your stomach. Let the air go from the stomach to your chest, and from chest to your throat. And when you exhale from your throat, you bring out the air, then the chest air, and finally the belly air goes out. Just feel it. It goes like that, from the bottom to the top, and from the top to the bottom. Repeat it 5 times. This is the belly breathing exercise, which is a stress reliever. Next is heart calming breath. This type of breath, it calms your heart, the palpitation of the heart, the fear that your heart feels, the tension that the heart feels. It palpitates irregularly, it palpitates fast, so it calms it. What you have to do, if you don't have any knee problem, you sit in a kneeling position, kneel down, घुटनों के बल आप बैठ जाइए, sit in your kneeling position with your excuse me, with your heels underneath your hips. So you sit with your kneeling position with your heels underneath your hips. And if you have knee problems, you sit comfortably in any position that you're comfortable in. You can sit cross-legged. You can even sit on a on a chair with your legs on the floor. Try not to touch the floor. You can put some thing on the surface and put your feet on it. Then you place one hand above your heart and another hand on your belly. Any hand, it can be like this or it can be like that. You close your eyes and you inhale and exhale. And when you are inhaling, feel that the fresh air coming in. When you're exhaling, you just let out the stale air. Okay, so when you can say, come in, go out, let go, let go. The Hindu mantra is so hum, so hum. So whatever whatever you want to say, you can say, but you try this breathing exercise where you're saying let, that is come in, go out, and you will feel that the trauma that you have in your life, the tensions that you have in your life, it just goes away, rejuvenates your mind, rejuvenates your body, because you're telling yourself, I'm happy. You're telling yourself trauma going. You're telling yourself fresh coming, stale going. You're telling yourself positivity coming, negativity going. You tell yourself. Again, I'm telling you, mind is like a soft clay. Whatever you teach, whatever you, how you handle the mind, it will shape like that. So you shape it. You have the control. You shape it as you want. If you want to be positive, shape it like that. You want to be happy, shape it like that. You faced trauma in your early life or in your life. Tell your mind, trauma, go. So let fresh air, trauma, go. So when you actually tell yourself, you will see, you actually feel the relief. Okay, so this is the heart calming breath that you have to take. You repeat it at least 5 times before you remove the hands from your chest and your stomach and put your hands on your thighs, and you open your eyes. So where does all these breathing exercises take you? So many efficacies, so many positive points. Generally, it leads to a sharper brain. Now I'm talking about work life, how it impacts your work, how it impacts your attitude. So it leads to a sharper brain. Now, what is a sharper brain? How it happens? Sharper brain is, again, conscious mind. Freudian theory, I'm again relating to you. You remember things that is needed. Forgetting is less. Okay, so when you lift weights, we do exercises and we lift weights. We have these dumbbells and we lift weights. Why do we do it? So that our muscles are stronger and bigger. Similarly, the weights that you're lifting is to shape your body. Similarly, when you do yoga, your brain cells also develop new connections, changes occur in the brain structure as well as function, resulting in improved cognitive skills, improved learning skills, as well as your memory skills. Yoga strengthens part of the brain that play a key role in memory systems, your attention process, your awareness process, your thought process, your language process, and think of this yoga which as a weightlifting process for your brain. I'll just tell you, when I talk to you about the language and the thought process, this example I keep quoting to my students also. Some time back, I went to a fruit vendor and I asked him, he was selling grapes. So I asked him, what is the price of grapes per kg? So he told me it is 100 rupees a kg. So I said, fine, pack a kg for me. So immediately a person came in a bike, stood next to the fruit vendor and asked the fruit vendor, how much are you selling it for? The fruit vendor looked at the person and he said, and he stopped. And he stopped. He was about to say, I could see that he was about to say 60 rupees a kg, whereas he told me 100 rupees a kg. So I looked up the man and I found him to be wearing a uniform of a policeman. So he was a policeman. And seeing him, he must have told he was about to tell the actual price or maybe a reduced price for him, whatever. So I just said, he didn't say the price aloud after that. He said, let me pack for her, then I'll tell you. He just stopped the guy. So I said, you were about to say 60. So seeing a person in uniform, does the price get changed? So he did not reply. He just smiled and I also smiled and I took my grapes and I went away. Now, what was this thing that he was about to say? It was nothing but slip of tongue. Now, this slip of tongue is the coordination of the thought process and the language process. It was there, but not there. Okay. So such things happen. These mistakes happen with each and every of us. But then people who are doing the mental exercises, the breathing exercises, the yogic exercises, it is actually repressions which came out. The actual price was repressed and some other price was told to me, but the repression surfaced seeing the uniform. So these mistakes, it is a mistake because he made a mistake in front of me, not for that person, but he made a mistake in front of me. And these things happen when the unconscious mind, in an unconscious manner, actually came up with the truth. And what I'm trying to tell you is, when you are fully aware of your surroundings, when you are fully aware of your mind and body, the environment around, you will not make these slip of tongues, these small unconscious mistakes, if your mind is very, very sharp, if your mind is exercised and mind is fresh and conscious all the time. Many MRI scans and studies have been done on people who have been doing all these breathing exercises, and it has been found that the brain imaging technology have shown that people who regularly do yoga, they were found to be having a thicker cerebral cortex, the area of the brain that is responsible for information processing. That layer was thicker. That means let the information process properly, did not let the information dilute, and it was a healthier brain surfaced in MRI, in CT scans, people who are doing these mental exercises as compared to people who are not doing mental exercises. And the area of the brain which is called the hippocampus, this is the area of the brain that is involved with learning and memory. And when these studies were done of, I think one study where 80 people who were practitioners of these breathing exercises and yogic exercises, and 80-90 people of non-practitioners, the MRI scans definitely found healthier brain among the practitioners. So this is there because the conscious mind is getting a lot of food, it stays healthy. A lot of exercises of the brain nerves, which stays healthy. The more you use it, that is why generally people say that if you want to stay away from Alzheimer's as you age, if you want to stay away from forgetting as you age, please do brain exercises. Try and solve riddles, do sudokus, do puzzles. They keep the brain healthy. You can do these exercises also. You can do yogic exercises also. So together you will have a better, healthy brain, better work quality, better output in your work, better healthy life, and balance between home and your office, home and your work life. So, these areas, the areas that I spoke to you about, that is the cerebral cortex and the hippocampus, these areas generally shrink as you age. They go smaller as you age. So the functioning go less. But the older yoga practitioners showed less shrinkage than those who did no yoga. These are very, very true facts, very, very confirmed, I would say, empirical studies that has been done. And the results are treated with statistical analysis. Efficacy has been found. The significant difference has surfaced, and hence even we are able to talk about it in such forums. And therefore we can say that yoga may counteract age-related decline in the memory and the other cognitive skills. Another aspect that yoga helps us is improved mood. Now, what is improved mood? All exercises can boost your mood by lowering, because when you're exercising the mind, it lowers the level of stress hormones. It increases the production of feel-good chemicals. Feel-good chemicals are known as endorphins, and these endorphins, they bring in more oxygenated blood to your brain. And yoga may have additional benefits. It can affect mood by elevating the levels of chemical in the brain, which are called gamma amino butyric. Have you heard of it? GABA. It's an acid, and which is associated with better mood and decreased anxiety. Sorry for that. Some phone call came. And it is associated with better mood and decreased society. Now, meditation, as you know, it can be defined as a technique. Now, I've been talking to you about yoga and breathing exercises. I will just talk a bit about the meditation process also. It is a set of techniques that are intended to encourage a heightened state of awareness. What is meditation? You just sit like that and you think about something. You think about your focus on the midpoint of your forehead, focus on that. You focus on some other thing that you are asked to focus, or you targetedly you focus. So basically it is a heightened state of self-awareness, and there is focused attention. Meditation is also a conscious changing techniques, and there has been again, the efficacy is tremendous. Lot of psychological well-being stories, empirical studies have surfaced, and this is also you can say meditation is also a tool that widens the periphery of the conscious mind. As I told you, breathing, when you breathe, take in long breaths, you are thinking of positivity, you're thinking about your past. So your conscious mind becomes stronger, your memory systems become stronger. With meditation also, same effects are found. Meditation actually reduces the physical activity, your limbs. It reduces the activity in the limbic system. So it increases the activity of the mind. It reduces the activity of the body. The part of the brain that is dedicated to emotions is increased when you do meditation. And as your emotional reactivity, because when you meditate, you're sitting in a very calm manner, you're thinking about something, eyes are closed, body is relaxed, comfortable, body is not working, physically you are still, your muscles of your body are relaxing, right? So the part of the brain which is dedicated to emotions also becomes slow. That means the emotional level which was heightened also becomes slow. Activity diminishes, and you have more tempered response when you are faced with stressful situations. So whenever there is stress in your life, whenever there is stress in your life and you meditate, your body is relaxing, mind is also relaxing, you're thinking targetedly towards one area, your other areas are quiet, your emotional reactions, which was heightened, anger, frustrations, hatred, jealousy, competition, all these are quiet. And then when you're out of the meditative mood and you're again faced with reality, you're faced with stress, since the emotional the brain that handles the emotions has now quietened, you will logically attack the stress. You will very logically, you will try to counter the stress. This is your tempered responses towards stressful situations. This is what happens when you meditate and when you're out of meditation. Now, drugs and psychotherapy, you know what is psychotherapy? That is talk therapy. You talk to a person and try to get the person relief from the stress. There are drugs also, there are medicines also that are stress relievers. There are anti-anxiety pills, there are antidepressive pills. We all know, and many of us have taken all these. If we're not able to sleep, so we take alpha-zolum to sleep, to relax our brain, the nerves of our brain. So these are known practices. Traditionally, these practices are used as to counter the stress. But when you talk of yoga, or when you talk of breathing exercises, or when you talk of meditation, they are complementary approaches which go along with these medicinal approach or the psychotherapeutic approaches. And yoga definitely is a very, very complementary therapy for any stress, any tensions that you may face. I have been using a lot of meditative processes or yoga processes as a psychologist. I run a counseling center in my institute as well. I'm a practicing psychologist of my off campus also in my home. I do a lot of consultations, and I have been using all these techniques and have found wonderful results that have surfaced. Now, some of the printed studies that are in the journals that I can think of, I remember reading in a journal which was on aging and mental health, and it had talked about various relaxation techniques on depressions, various relaxation techniques on anxiety in older adults. One study that I'm talking about. And in addition to yoga and interventions, it included massage therapy, it included progressive muscle relaxation therapy. It talked about other types of stress management, listening to music, and then pre and post tests were done. And it was found that the maximum efficacy, the maximum benefit was found on that group where yoga and music therapy was used as compared to the other therapy. So they made these groups of people suffering from similar kind of diseases, and different therapies were applied to different type of people, different groups of people, and the best results came from people who were given the therapy of music as well as yoga. Then a number of studies have been done on people suffering from post-traumatic tremendously, and it is not used by just by itself. It is used as an add-on treatment to reduce the intrusive therapies. So yoga is a complementary to other therapies. Yoga accompanies other therapies. We just alone using yoga may help. It may not help as much, but then if it is complementing, if it is accompanied by say psychotherapy, where it's a talk therapy, you talk to people, the counselor talks to people, and yoga is also a part of it. It helps. You go to a psychiatrist, the psychiatrist gives you some medicines, you practice yoga along with it, it will give you double benefit. So it is a calmer, it gives you a steadier breathing. Your emotional arousal, which is at the peak, you are under tensions, it will calm down, and you will find that basically your parasympathetic nerves, right, they become stronger, they become alert, they become active. Now, what is the working of the sympathetic nerves and the parasympathetic nerves? You must have studied biology, especially now you're all from the engineering background, but you must have studied biology till class 10. I'll just give you an example of the working of these nerves before going ahead. Now, suppose you're walking on the road and say a wild animal, a bear, comes chasing you. What will you do? You will run. And the speed at which you run will not be the same speed at which you run if you are asked to go to the, to get a medicine, or if you're asked to run in a race along with your colleagues. No, the speed at which you run when there's a danger running behind you will be far more higher, the speed, as compared to the other running that you do. Now, who gives you this extra energy to run? From where do you get this extra oxygen? From where do you get the extra power? It is your sympathetic nerves which supplies this. But then what happens? Once you run, after some time, you're so tired, you can't run for long. You will fall down. You will sit and you will gasp for breath. So now you have used up all the resources of your body in running, resources of the muscles, resources of the nerves, resources in terms of oxygen, in terms of glucose. You have used the resources in that 5-minute run, that resources of maybe 5 hours or 5 days resources or whatever you have used up. So how do you come back to your normal state? It is your parasympathetic nerves that gives you calmness, that makes you go back to your original self. So this parasympathetic nerve is the storehouse of oxygen, storehouse of your body resources, which is taken by the sympathetic nerves during emergencies. So when you do all these, yoga and meditation or your breathing exercises, you are supplying the parasympathetic nerves with you're refueling the barrels of the parasympathetic nerves with fresh air, with fresh breaths, with fresh oxygen, and basically positivity. So this is how the meditation, the stress works on your memory system, your mind system, the attitude system, the entire muscular system, the nervous system altogether. Okay, now I'll just talk to you about. I want to talk to you about a study that that was done by me and my team, and this study research was on college-going students. They were tested by using psychometric tools, and we tried to find out, and we tried to categorize the students into 3 categories, and which are basically students who had a traumatized childhood, students who had childhood which was very happy, no trauma. And among the traumatized childhood, there were 2 groups of students with just mental trauma and mental and physical trauma both. So we had 3 group samples: no trauma, mental trauma, and mental and physical trauma. And these trauma the children faced in their childhood, and now they are adolescents, and they're in their college, and we are trying to find out. And they're not talking about the trauma, but we did some testings, we did some psychoanalytic readings, we did use some psychometric tools, and we tried to categorize the children. So, and the area that we worked on was emotional maturity. So we did a test, pre-test, and then after the practice of these breathing exercises, yoga and meditation, post-test was done. So in the pre-test, the dimensions of emotional maturity were emotional instability, emotional regression, social maladjustment, personality disintegration, and lack of independence. So these 5 areas were tested, and pre and post tests were done. And it was seen that people who suffered from severe physical and mental trauma gained the most in the post-test as compared to the other 2 types of sample. And the beauty of it was that definitely all the 3 category of sample benefited. So the scores of the pre-test and the scores of the post-test was significantly different, and positivity came, or you can say the emotional maturity of in the post-test was found to be far higher, far positive, and it was very, very significantly different from the pre-test. But the beautiful thing that surfaced was that the severely impacted, traumatized children, traumatized in their childhood, who suffered from both physical and mental trauma, they gained far more as compared to children of no trauma, with no trauma, and children with just mental trauma. So the impact was more in the severely traumatized children as compared to no trauma children. Even though, as I said, the no trauma children also were better than they were before. But then the jump or the leap in the scores was more towards the positivity in the severely traumatized children. So what I'm trying to tell you is the efficacy, is the beautifulness, is the importance of yoga and meditation and breathing exercises in promoting mental health, in promoting happiness, in promoting positive attitude in the children. And the same study, similar study was done in the elderlies also. In that, there was a bit difference. We did not take trauma there. It was the financial solvency and or financial independence and financial finance. So that kind of elderly people in the 70s and 80s were taken, and again this type of yogic interventions were done, and again we found that people really impacted people who had no finance, people who were dependent for finances on others. They were feeling far more superior, far more healthy and happy, even though the finances did not increase, but mentally they were able to accept the access the happiness that they were not able to access earlier. Okay, so this is a study that I wanted to share with you. And when we talk of meditation, it is a habitual process of training your mind to focus and redirect your thought on some issue. Now, generally when we talk of meditation, we all know that it reduces stress. Many, as I've been telling you, many studies have been done. It controls anxiety. Now, you may ask, why am I talking about reducing stress and controlling anxiety? Are they one point or are they two different points? Stress and anxiety. Meditation reduces stress levels. Meditation translates to less anxiety. Now, there's a fine line dividing stress and, or a fine line between stress and anxiety. Both are emotional responses. Stress and anxiety, both are emotional responses. But stress is typically caused by an external trigger, whereas anxiety, on the other hand, is defined by persistent, excessive worry that doesn't go away even when the stressor is absent. In the absence of the stressor also, the anxiety does not go. So, stress generally has, as I told you, has an external trigger. The source of stress is external. Source of anxiety is mental, and it is a long state. It is a state which continues even when the stressor is not there. It is a state of mind. We are used to being in an anxious state. So there is a difference, and it is very important to control anxiety. Stress you can control by removing the stressor, but anxiety is something it's a state where you're conditioned to be in. Even if there's no reason we feel anxiety. Why? We have to relax our mind. Hence, meditation is very, very important. Meditation, yoga, they all promote emotional health. Emotional health means your self-concept, your inferiority complex, your confidence in yourself, how your self-worth, how good you are at facing people. What you say, will people listen to you? So that feeling you must have, that confidence you must have. So basically, if you are controlling your mind and you're filling your mind with positivity, your emotional health will also get boosted, right? And your positivity of the attitude will surface. You will look for opportunities that was not there. You will see things from a very positive angle. I will just give you an example. This is also a very common example, which I always quote in many of my talks to my students and here and elsewhere also. Maybe you've heard of it. That is the example. That is the story of two shoe salesmen. It must be there in the internet also if you look out for it. Now, a shoe company sent two shoe salesmen to Africa. One went to the eastern part of Africa, one went to the western part of Africa. The company told them to go and make a feasibility report of and the market for shoe selling, market for shoes in those areas. Both of them went, they did survey, they came back to the company and they reported. Both of them gave the same report. One said, well, I went there, the east side of Africa, people did not wear shoes. So I don't think so there is a market for shoes. I found nobody wearing shoes. So there is no market for shoes. The other person came, he also reported, well, I went, I found people not wearing shoes. There's a huge potential market for shoes because there is no shoes. Now we can sell them shoes. The story is same, attitude is different. What gives you this positive bent of mind? A relaxed mind, a relaxed, positive mind, a relaxed, oxygenated mind. Who supplies the oxygen? The breathing exercises supplies the oxygen. The yogic exercises supplies the oxygen. The yogic breathing, that is the controlled breathing, 6 in, stop for 5, 8 out. So these yogic breathing exercises supply the oxygen. Oxygenated brain, positivity of thought. Oxygenated brain, healthy mind. Healthy mind relates with healthy body. So the impact of mind and body, the impact of psychophysics on each other. The healthier the mind, the psychosomatic illnesses will go away. What are psychosomatic illnesses? The illnesses of the body, the reactions of the body, the impact on the body because of mind. Stressful environment, heart attack. Stressful environment, anxiety-full environment, depressions. Stressful environment, your BP shoots up, your thyroid goes high, your all the mental illnesses surface, your blood pressure goes high, your sugar, diabetes surface. So these are all reactions to the mental state. They are all related with your mind. These are called lifestyle diseases. These are called diseases which are psychosomatic in nature. Psychosomatic diseases. The body's reaction to the mind. We have to keep the mind healthy. And these processes are, you can say, they are the best way to keep the mind healthy. Okay, then as I told, another aspect that is touched, as I was just talking to you about the positive attitude, another aspect that is touched is self-awareness. The more you know yourself, I've talked to you before also, the more you will be taking care of yourself. your self-worth, what you are worth of, what is your worthiness. You will try to reach the level. You will know exactly where to put your goals. But how do you know yourself? You will only know yourselves by your failures. You will have anxiety. You do meditations, you do introspections. Why you have failed? What has made you fail? Where did you go wrong? Do introspection. Take in long breaths. Come back rejuvenated. Set a goal that you can actually conquer and walk ahead. Then the next aspect that I want to talk to you is it lengthens attention span. Now, we are, as I told you, we have so many things to pay attention to. I'm sitting here and talking to you. I may have other engagements that I'm unconsciously bothering me, that I'm unconsciously thinking about. But why should it happen? If I'm talking to you, I should give my 100% to you. If it is possible, you will get the best result both in your life, work life, and your home life. You have to give full attention. You have to give full concentration. And that is only possible when your mind is in a relaxed state. The efficacy of yoga, efficacy of meditation and breathing exercise again surface here. Okay, and I'll tell you something. When we are not giving our full 100%, we are working under stress, we are working under tensions. You will see we are not able to complete our task as we generally should have completed. If you give your 100%, you will be satisfied with the work that you do. And when you're not able to do, we have a lot of tension post work also. I'll just give you an example. You go and write. So as a student, you all must have written your exam. Suppose in your question paper, there were, say, 5 questions that you had to answer. The 5th question had 2 parts, A and B, and you had to answer both. You had a time of 3 hours, right? So exactly 30-35 minutes per answer you get. So when you are writing the answer, first answer you know very well, so you've written much more than you've taken in much more time. You write the second answer, third answer, fourth answer, fifth, you are able to write just one bit, you're not able to write the second bit. Your friends ask you, how did the exam go? The portion that you could not write will give you more trauma, will give you more stress than the 4.5 questions you were able to write. Why? Because somewhere down the first 3 hours, you did not put your conscious mind on the time. You were not able to manage your time in such a manner that you could allot time to each questions equally. And that led to incompleted answer paper. And when a task is left incomplete, it gives a lot of tension. It gives a lot of stress. And this is called the Zygarnic Effect. And that is the stress that comes with incompleted task. And that shouldn't happen if your mind is controlled, if your mind is accurate, if you work in a very systematic manner, if you work in a very planned manner. This Zygarnic effect, that is a stress in your mind for incompleted tasks, will not happen. But it always happens with all of us in most of the activities, because we are so much stressed out with the other activity that we should have done, or that we have to do, or that is impeding in the future, and that is troubling us. So try and relax your mind so that every task independently is done in a very, very healthy manner, so that you don't have such stress in your life. Then there is as I told you, the more you exercise the brain, the more age-related memory loss, it won't be there. More exercise, less loss. Because the memory loss process means that the nerves of your brain have become loose. The nerve, the elasticity, the tightness of the brain is not there. White patches come in the brain if it is not exercised properly. So we have to exercise our brain by more supply, by more meditation, by more focusing on things, targeted meditations to keep the brain fresh, and the age-related memory loss will be reduced. Improvement in the attention, clarity in the thinking process will be there. Even if you have addictions in your life, to fight the addictions also, self-control, to bring in self-control, to bring in awareness of your mind and body, the importance of yoga, importance of meditation and breathing exercises. It is very, very, the studies are very, very relevant, and a lot of positivity these studies have shown in fighting addictions also. Then in people do it for to control their food cravings. People do yoga for a healthy body, for a I would say very toned body, for a very flexible body. If your body looks good mentally, indirectly, it's a two-way process. Your mentally also you will feel better. It will give you better sleep. It will give you because relief from tensions are there. Sleep will also be there, and the best thing is blood pressure will decrease, and it is so beautiful that it is accessible anywhere. You can do a little breathing exercise in your office. You can do it at home. You can do it, whenever you find the time in between two jobs. And you can, and when you are meditating, there are basically two types of meditation. One is a focused attention meditation, where you focus on one thing, one object. It can be the middle of your brow. It can be you just focus on whatever, whoever your God is, whoever your whichever source of energy you like to focus on, and you just think about that. Or it can be open monitoring meditation, which I have tried a lot with my in my emotional maturity studies that I have done on traumatized students, traumatized children, adolescents, where we tell them to focus on this, focus on positivity, focus on positivity coming in, focus on negativity going out. So these are open monitoring meditations, where this style encourages broadened awareness of your environment. It focuses and trains your thought. It focuses on yourself, and it focuses on your repressed unfortunate happenings. It focuses on your darkness of your life, etc., etc. So these are the open monitoring meditation, and they help a lot. You let the positive flow in, you let the negative flow out. So we can say that the bottom line is that your breathing exercise or meditation, it definitely impacts your work life. It impacts your mental health. It impacts your physical health, and it makes you a well-rounded personality, liked by one, liked by all. Attitude will be positive. You will see the goodness in other people. You will focus on the goodness in other people, because every person has white and black. Why do we need to focus on black? Why can't we focus on the white? The present trend of psychology is positive psychology. Now, in positive psychology, we talk of developing the positivity in a person, not touch the negativity in a person. In earlier the psychology, in the psychotherapy systems that we have studied earlier, and we have practiced also, we try to dig out the negativity and throw out the negativity and then learn the positivity. So much time is required, so much effort is required to dig out, throw, and then bring or make new learnings happen. But today, when we talk of positive psychology, just let the negativity be there, strengthen the positivity, let it overpower the negativity. You just focus on positivity. That is what we are trying to talk here. Every human being, every environment, all workplaces, all family members have both positive side and negative side. Focus on the positive side. You will see tensions go away. And so let us understand that yoga and meditation should be introduced at workplace, and it leads to mindfulness at work, concentration at work, full attention at work, whatever work. It can be at work at home or in your workplace, and thus improving your performance. And with that, I think I would like to come back to you and talk to you about what you have to say on this subject, interact with you, answers your questions. I can see some comments in the chat box. Upasna Singh says, stress makes us disturbed. Definitely, Upasna, it does make us disturbed. It disturbs everything. Our mind, our body, and our entire focus gets disturbed. And face stress if there is no cooperation for peer group. Absolutely. If there is no cooperation, why peer group? It can be family members, it can be your friends, it can be your colleagues, your boss. Very important, because you are spending time there 6 to 8 hours, and absolutely undisturbed time you have in office as compared to your time at home, because in home you have so many spaces that you can hide yourself, you can go and choose to be. So if there's no cooperation, lot of stress will be there. And I can see some appreciative comments also. And Dr. Sudha Gupta says, thanks to coordinators for arranging such a nice and useful session. Thank you, Dr. Gupta. And thank you. Some other comments have also come, are also appreciating the session. Thank you so much. Now, can we have the mics on of people who want to share something? Participants, I can see there are 82 participants, that's quite a large number. Can we have some more, not chat comments, can we have some verbal comments from you, and can we share some experiences? Because today, as I said earlier also, I did not want to go for a PowerPoint presentation, make it a mechanical session. I wanted to talk to you directly, which I have done. And I want response also from you directly. Can we have that?
Participants, if they want to interact with the ma'am, please raise their hand so that I can unmute from here, and you can then directly talk to madam.
Well, I don't see any. I have just given 15 minutes for, left 15 minutes for the, interaction. I'm still waiting. No comments? Okay, if you,
Participants,
you
if they
can
want to
write
share
your,
their views, they can also share.
you can write your, you can write any query that you may have. Or else I would have, continued with more examples.
We have one person who has raised hand, Swaminathan, Professor Swaminathan. Yes. Yes, sir. Swaminathan, sir. I have unmuted from my side. You can unmute from your side and you can talk.
If I practice some exercises, how I could verify whether I am going in the correct direction or not? Sometimes, suppose if I wrongly did something, someone said it may severely, it may affect your health, or suppose if you wrongly practice, it means it may affect that is severe problem you may face. So how I should assure whether I am going in a proper direction or not?
Now, Mr. Swaminathan, you are talking about the practicing of yoga in the correct manner, right? You saying that if it is wrongly practiced, it may bring in more negative side effects as compared to the positive. Is that right?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. There is anything which is right or wrong about it, because yoga is something which is a breathing exercises which comes with body exercises, right? It is the exercise of the mind and the body together. So now when these exercises come, there's no way it can go wrong, because you have to, now it's all process of conditioning the mind to think the rightful things. So that is something that you have to do. You write something in front of you and then you sit and think of it in case your mind goes to some other direction. But if you are doing some physical exercises, like you're sitting in a proper posture and you take in a long breath, and when you take in a long breath, you think of good things. You sit outside in the veranda, you see the beautiful sun coming out, or you see the sound of the birds, you see if there are some pots in your outdoor, some flowers. So automatically you make yourself think of positivity. That is something initially, Mr. Swaminathan, you will have to force yourself, you will have to target yourself in that direction. And slowly you will find that you are able to do it on your own. So what I'm trying to tell you, there's nothing can go wrong. What can go wrong? You're taking in positivity and you're throwing out negativity. You tell yourself, I'm thinking about my good results, I'm thinking of my bad past, throwing away my bad past or my bad results in the past, or my frictions with my peer group or colleagues in the past. I'm bringing in good relationship with my peer group. You have to do this targeted thinking, and after some time you will see that this becomes a habit with you. So initially it will take some time, but I don't think so that there can be any wrong effect of it. There shouldn't be, rather.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Madam Shikha is saying, ma'am, can you give your mail ID or phone number? Definitely, I can give my mail ID and phone number. I rather give my phone number, because mail ID, I may not check the mail. Okay, I'm just writing my phone number. Again, I'm telling you that I'm not a, I've written my phone number. I'm just telling you, I'm not a professional yoga practitioner. I'm a psychologist, I'm a counselor, and I myself, I'm a yoga practitioner, and I have been using yoga and meditation and breathing exercises as a part of intervention in my therapeutic measures. Okay, so I can help you with that. But if you ask me deep religiosity values of yoga, I'm not in, a yoga guru or a yoga sadhu or anything for that matter. But definitely I can help you with your stress and anxiety control. Yeah, yes, Upasana Singh, I've written my phone number. You can text me, you can WhatsApp me here.
Respected
Anybody
participant, Madam has given us the number. You can take the number from the chat box and
I think, Mishra
any-
sir, the session is almost done.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is almost.
any other participants, if they are having any query, any questions, if they want to ask with the ma'am, you are welcome. You can raise your hand. I can unmute from here, or either you ask your question in the chat box also.
No question.
No question. Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am, Dr. Devjani Mukherjee, head of the department from the psychological department, St. Thomas College, Bhilai. Your presentation on the yoga and meditation as a facilitator of mental health and a healthy work life was very knowledgeable and was very well received by our participant. Thank you, ma'am. Since we know that yoga and this meditation is a very special part of anyone's life, and so is the yoga and meditation teacher. So if you are learning yoga or meditation, or you have learned some yoga sessions or meditation sessions from someone, you will know that yoga and meditation is much more than asanas, and it teaches you many life lessons. And then one person who stays by your side is your yoga and meditation teacher. It's them who keep patience with you and help you in this journey, and hence makes your thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, participants, for patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. It was such a wonderful session. Once again, we thank you, ma'am, for your enriching our event with your presence. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Respected participants, we will be having the next speaker for the second session for the day at 12:30 p.m. Sir will be joining after some time. We will be starting the session at 12:30 p.m. Okay, so we are going to take a break, and I request you to present at 12:30 p.m. So we are now going for the break till 12:30. We will meet again at 12:30 p.m. Thank you very much. Thank you all.